Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. This is your host, Nikki Clarke. So happy to see you. It's been a fantastic summer. I hope you enjoyed your very long weekend. And we are back again with another stellar interview. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time. And we invite people from all walks of life to come and share their heart stories, their stories of empowerment, transformation, messages of upliftment. And I'm super stoked to invite a stellar individual with us today. She is a peak performance coach, a speaker, author, and CEO of Lead Up for Women. Please welcome Colleen Biggs to the show. Colleen, welcome.
Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much. And Nikki, you have like a beautiful radio voice. My goodness.
Thank you.
I had to share that with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, Colleen, it's such an honor to have you on the show. I've been following you on social media, and today we get to connect in another way. You just recently had a conference, Lead Up for Women conference, which was fantastic. So congratulations with that. But before we can get into all the wonderful accomplishments, let's talk about your backstory. You know, I that's what the viewers love to hear. What motivated you to get to this place? Let's talk about your journey. Where did it begin?
Yes. So let me tell you that I thought I was going to be in corporate America for my entire life. And if someone would have told me 3 years before I dropped out of corporate America that I would be starting my own business, I would have told them that they were crazy because I thought I was a lifer there at the company I was working at. But I do believe that God works in mysterious ways. And just like you, Nikki, I also felt a pull and I was really getting unhappy. It's almost like a veil was lifted off of my eyes and I was able to really see what was happening. And unfortunately, what I saw with women in corporate America was very catty. And, you know, every time that we wanted a position, everyone was fighting over it, or I'd find myself in someone's office because a female complained about, you know, something, or I'm being thrown under the bus for something. Here's what I know. When you're honest and you're truthful and you have integrity, you can't be caught doing anything you never did, if that makes sense. So,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah. And I was like, why aren't these women banding together? And why aren't we creating forces together? Because we're so strong as females. But as many of you know, if you've come from the corporate America, you know, most men started almost all the industries. So we came in a little later in the industry. And so most of them are all male dominated. With that being said, if you did come from a male dominated industry, you probably know what I mean about masculine energy. And that was my comfort zone because the emotional and the female energy was really kind of snuffed out and kept secret, I guess is a good word. So that was, you know, scary for me. And I was in a room, Nikki, with about 13 women, and we would get executives together once a year and I would network with them and they would interview us for radio and for magazines, articles and stuff. And we usually say, what's on your plate? What's been the hardest part this year as a hurdle as a woman, you know, in a male dominated industry? And the first question they asked was, what's your story? Never before they asked that. You could hear a pin drop for 3 hours in that room. Not one female moved. After that moment, we became so close as sisters. We all knew each other really well. It was almost like we were protecting each other, loving each other, feeling for losses that we'd have in our lives, where we are. We knew each other just so quickly versus that topical scratch the surface, what's on your desk, what do you do for a living type of conversation. And let me tell you, it was at that moment that I knew I needed to provide platforms for women to be able to share their story, but more than that, motivate, inspire others, and to give platforms to women to be able to expand their influence, to be able, you know, as female entrepreneurs to attract the right clients. And that was really the seed that was planted of how Lead Up for Women was born. And I planted that seed in August of 2018. I launched Lead Up for Women in January 2019, and I left corporate America in 4th of July 2019. It moved that quick. Once the train left the station, it was like, hop on for the ride. Yeah.
Fantastic. And, I love how you brought up the reality of many women in corporate Canada, America, UK, wherever they are. There's a sense of contentions among women that I don't believe needs to exist, just like you said. And it's such a wonderful blessing when you can let those walls come down and really embrace each other for the common experiences. And there's so much we can do, like you said, if we band together, than to tear each other apart. And I've been in many circumstances where women judge you based on the way you look or the way you sound or what they deem you to be, when all you're looking for me was just affiliation, to belong, to grow together, because I'm everyone's cheerleader. But it's such a surprise and shock when you're working with a team that they're not cheering you on the same way. So as you develop this understanding and this great need to take that desire to build people up, I imagine this is where you started Lead Up for Women.
It is. And that's what this community is all about. Like-minded women that support each other. There's no judgment. We are guiding each other, fueling each other, holding each other accountable. Like attracts like, right? I'm not going to attract anyone that's going to be in a competition mode or want to steal clients. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in collaboration. And I also believe and teach and stand behind opening the door and letting other women through first. Because the more we serve, the more it comes back to us. So that's what this community is all about. Besides the exposure and everything, that makes us different, that our members get, that's what this community is built on. So the mission statement is really built on serving and protecting and holding space for other women so that they can thrive in their businesses and in their lives, in their relationships, in their communities, and in their families.
Fantastic. And I completely subscribe to the belief of the power of co. And you can't do it by yourself. You can try. People talk about being self-employed, but are you really self-employed? Because you really need to delegate and ask for help. I try to do that self-sabotaging thing of thinking I could do it myself. I had so many slashes: writer, director, producer, coffee maker. And I'm like, do I need to do this to myself? So once I got on this understanding that it's okay, there's no shame in asking for help. It's such a wonderful thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is no shame in asking for help. And I tell everyone all the time, if you don't ask, you don't get. The answer started out no, it will always be no. So what's the worst that can happen? They give you a no? Okay, it was already a no to begin with. So you just never know, right? And as women, we tend to try to do everything ourselves and not ask for help of others. And the one thing I've learned about in this community and building this community is giving women the opportunity to ask. Opening doors for them to ask, giving them space to ask. Same with the other women in the group. And so our members, they're here to thrive with each other, and they know whenever they come to an event, when they're hosting an event, when they're writing, an article for the magazine or being interviewed on any of our platforms, they know that they're safe. They know they're in a safe and nurturing environment for them and for their brand. And that says something. It helps us build our self-esteem, our self-confidence in who we are, and being authentic, to not try to act or be like someone else, right. But no, we are absolutely A-okay just being who we are.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just thinking of a networking opportunity that came just recently, and someone brought the idea of power partnership to my life, to my atmosphere. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a heavy, loaded, but beautiful idea, that you can be in the same arena of business, but you can still be powerfully partnered together. Mm-hmm. And when I started to, get involved with people in the same positions, and I'm like, wow, we're really doing great things together, because even though it's similar, there's something slightly different from each in every one of us, and uniquely we can collaborate and just kind of expand our businesses doing the same thing, but slightly different. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's so many pieces in the pie that you don't have to hoard it all for yourself.
That's absolutely correct. And God created each one of us so unique and individual that there isn't anyone that could be Nikki Clarke. There isn't anyone that could have a radio show like you do, because they don't possess the experience, the knowledge, the wisdom, the skill sets that you've brought along with you, your talents. So knowing that, when we know that, then when we do collaborate, like I told you earlier, Nikki, I collaborate with other women's organizations all the time. They are my power partners. And we even call each other power partners. And I have them in my community. I go to their community and we share communities, because if my vision for women is to change the landscape of what women look like in corporate America, holding more positions in Fortune 500 companies, owning more businesses of their own, and being female entrepreneurs at very high success levels, that goes beyond Lead Up for Women. That doesn't lock them down and Lead Up for Women. That is me exposing them to every door that's open for me opening those same doors for them. And that's really where permanent change happens. Absolutely.
Pouring into someone else can create permanent change for yourself. I love that idea. So tell me about the platforms you have. You have multiple platforms of helping people expand in their personal, professional walk. Let's talk about what's going.
Yeah, we do. I wanted to make sure that we were covering with women. With men, it's the same way. Whenever you're running a business, if you have a brand, if you're building something, we have to master us before we can master anything else, right? So I always say master you to master your success. So it would be ignorant of me to not have a personal development section to, part of this. So we do weekly book clubs that our members can join in on. We're reading Marie Forleo's Everything's Figure Outable right now. Next week, we move into The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which T. Harv Eker, I talked a lot about at my LEAP event that I just did back in August. Mindset is what really drives us, right? How our mind is. So we work on books that are a lot of self-development. In our magazine, we have a business section, a leadership section, a philanthropy section, and a lifestyle section. So in the lifestyle section, you're going to get a lot of parenting. You're going to get a lot of relationships. You're going to get a lot of health and body and wellness. And then, in our business and leadership sections, those are the articles you're going to be reading. So very well-rounded. And then the philanthropy is all about giving back. So those are all about giving back. So that's why we created our magazine to be that way. When we do the podcast, it's about interviewing our members for them to be able to get their message out there, for the spotlight to be on them. Same with our Member Monday Spotlight. It's all about doing an interview where they might have launched a book, or they have an event coming up, or how can I help you get the word out about what you're doing? And the same as the Thrive Thursday is all about who inspires us to thrive. And we take questions that you answer and photos of you, and we plaster it all over social media, all over our blog section. And we really introduce you to our community to say, look how amazing this individual is and where she shines, and all of the areas that she is a genius in, or an expert in, or what makes her different, right? And so everything that we do, and then we choose, as you can see behind me, we choose to have different women on the cover of the magazines. And then they have, inside the magazine, they have a Q&A time, a sit down time with them, so we can get to learn more about them. The more resources that we are exposed to, the more choices we have as an entrepreneur to be able to connect, partner, and do business with these other resources, which some resources I've been introduced to have changed my business structure, have changed my wealth structure, have changed the way that, I do business. Some is technology, other is investments. Some are just, based on a book. I met someone, and the next thing I know, I'm introducing it to Lead Up for Women for them to collaborate with me, and we could do a book together, which can help them with more credibility. So I'm always looking for platforms and ways to help women to be able to be seen, be heard, and be visible. Yeah.
Excellent. And I love how you've been doing this. And it started what year? How long have you been doing this, Colleen?
January of 2019 was the
Okay.
year I started. So we're on our third year and we're killing it. Like the women, I say we're killing it, meaning the women are crushing it because they are showing up. I'm not killing it. They're killing it. They believe in themselves. They show up for themselves. They're jumping in with both feet. They're writing articles. They're doing the 10 tips. They're submitting blogs. You know, they're showing up on the interviews. We've got they do workshops that are booked out, you know, through March, April next year. They are really showing up for themselves. All it takes is, it just took me providing the safe ground, and then they'll show up and do it. But they don't know. Many female entrepreneurs struggle with how to get the visibility. How do people, you know, how are they seeing me? Where do I go? What do I do? And since I've been out of corporate America, I just hit the ground running and I never stopped. And I know tens and thousands of people today that I didn't even know 3 years ago. My whole circle of people that I'm around has changed. And that's really what it takes, is just getting out there and showing up everywhere to try it out, and then really understand where's the best places for you to be that is going to give you the most exposure.
Well, you know, I say congratulations for your vision, because, you know, if you can see it, you can achieve it. That's the way I've always approached life, but it takes someone to start it. So thank you for creating this model, a safe platform to just share who you are. And it's greatly received internationally. And if you didn't do it, I would never have met Colleen Biggs and understand this great, you know, a movement that you have, and we need many more of them. So thank you very much for sharing that. So how can people reach you on social media, Colleen?
Well, we made it easy for everyone, and we are Lead Up for Women everywhere. So you can reach out to us on Instagram and follow us there. We have a lot of tips we do during the week. We showcase a lot of our members, so you get to meet a lot of them. Of course, we invite you to other communities' events. Facebook, same thing. LinkedIn. We invite you to follow us on leadupforwomen.com. I invite any of your listeners to go out and download a free copy of the magazine, so they can read it cover to cover of what our members are writing and the hurdles that they've had, and, you know, how they've been motivated and inspired and have faced, you know, adversity and have come out, you know, on the other end. So we learn from other people. And as women, I'm sure you agree, Nikki, we need to watch a woman or a group of women move a mountain before we'll move our own. Yes. And so I believe in really being that example, walk the walk, talk the walk. And I do this all for my community. This really is what keeps them in the spotlight, and each individual member. And it's not hard to do. You know, it seems like, oh my gosh, that's got to be so overwhelming, but it's not, because it's just one member at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time. And eventually we get to everyone, and everyone's been promoted. And it's fantastic, because I get to watch the women's businesses grow. I get to watch their revenue grow, their self-esteem, their self-confidence, the belief in themselves grow. And that's really, you know, where it starts. And the more that women are willing to step up for others, then, you know, and lend their wings, then, you know, that gives the permission of us to be able to, you know, lead our lives without asking anyone else's permission, which in turn helps our children, our families. They watch us, you know, more than they listen to us. So what a beautiful gift to show up just as authentically as yourself, unapologetically, and giving other people permission to do the same.
I love that. That is very important. And also, as we walk into our greatness, it's important to give thanks. I'm a woman of faith, so I thank my Heavenly Father for, you know, giving me these doors and just making me who I am, and also to celebrate, you know, to rejoice, even the small victories, and just say, yes, I did it, and encourage others too. Rejoice when others are rejoicing. So that's really important for me. And Colleen, it's just been such a pleasure listening to the journey and how, you know, things are moving so amazingly with the Lead Up for Women movement. I am looking forward to the conversation that I'm going to have on your show as a guest. I'm honored to be part of that. And is there anything else that we need to know about upcoming conferences or anything that you can invite us to be a part of?
You know, I think one of the best ways you can learn more about the community and just get connected with like-minded women, if you're hungry for this, I invite any of your listeners to a monthly lunch and learn that we have. We do networking once a month on the first Thursday of every month. It's free. You can put in a code, guest LNL. I mean, you'll get, if you download our magazine or get on our newsletter, you can be kept on top of what's happening, meaning I invite you for speaking opportunities on other people's platforms as well. So I'm connecting you with other communities and other platforms. And if you're a female entrepreneur that is really looking for more exposure, you can even get that through just following the community and getting on the newsletter. So I definitely recommend that you look at attending a Teaching Tuesday and learning from our other members, or attending a lunch and learn where you get to do a lot of networking. We have those every month. We have chapters. We're creating 4 more chapters before the end of the year. So right now we're just in the United States, in Arizona and Illinois, but we're going to be coming to Canada soon. There's going to be several areas in Canada that we're going to be opening up chapters. I have so many women that are members of Lead Up for Women that are outside of the country, that are not even in the United States. So this is definitely global and international, and we will keep those online for our monthly lunch and learns. And then our chapters will start moving in person when they're able to do so.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for that. Colleen, thank you again for your time. I truly appreciate it. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you, and really excited about what's coming next. So if you want to just share your social media information again, and any words of wisdom that you'd like to offer anyone who is maybe on the fence of becoming an entrepreneur, what advice would you give them?
Yeah. So like I said, leadupforwomen.com. You can get on our newsletter, download a magazine. We have a lot of freebies on our website. So whatever you'd like to do, check us out. Come check out one of our events to get to know us a little bit better. And, learning is probably one of my biggest pieces of advice for everyone. If learning is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you, right? We want to become the best leaders we could possibly be in every facet of our lives. As you move from where you are right now in wanting to build a business as an entrepreneur, trust yourself, because you wouldn't feel this pull if God didn't think you were ready. And sometimes we have to start before we think we're ready. And I think that's Nikki got the pull to leave. She got the pull to do what she was doing. I got the pull to do the same thing, what I was doing. And it was before I was ready to really take that leap. But taking that leap, just have the faith. I always say, let go and let God lead. You really need to have the faith in yourself, faith in your abilities, and not be afraid. And so that's probably the biggest piece of advice that I can give someone, because the number one thing I hear is, I can't afford it, or I can't do it. And it's like, you're right, you can't, and you can't afford it, because that's what you believe. But if you believe you could, and you believe God's on your side, and you believe you're being pulled for a reason, then just start before you're ready, just like we do everything else. And I promise it'll all catch up.
Well, amen to that. Awesome. Thank you so much for your pearls of wisdom. Colleen Biggs, founder of Lead Up for Women. Please connect with her on social media. Colleen, again, stay safe, stay strong, and God bless you. You've been watching the Nikki Clarke Show with our very special guest, Colleen Biggs. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.